welcome to Floating Nifty Podcast. I'm Showen.
And I'm Noah. And today we're going to be talking about teapots because we have new teapots. I brought back some teapots from my trip and we've been playing with them in the shop here. Some Yixing pots and a couple wood-fired pots. And I thought today we could do like a comparison of 3 different pots and kind of just talk about how we not evaluate pots, but how we get to know a new teapot. And these have all been slightly seasoned. We've talked about seasoning other places before, but basically we just brew some tea leaves and let it soak in there overnight, and do that maybe 2 or 3 times before even starting to brew tea inside. So this is all pre-seasoned pots, and we're going to be drinking out of these ones for the first time today.
I will say that like how we decide which tea to go into a pot is based on of course our past experiences and intuition. Sometimes we pick up a pot and we just say, I think High Mountain Oolong will be pretty good on that. So what happened is then we will put a High Mountain Oolong in there and we will see the result. You got to, in a way, we use then our taste to determine what's the intuition and the past experience combined together. Was it a good guess? And when it's bad, then you just not just like, oh shoot, this is bad. You kind of use what didn't come out and then use that one to build another, in a way, past experience to say, hey, I think because what the light oolong tastes like, I think a sweeter oolong, for example, might work with this one. Things like this.
That's the reason I like to use dongding for these tests.
Yeah,
is because it's not too dark, but it's also has plenty of body. So you get to see how much the body shows up, and then if more of the fragrance is showing up, but the body is kind of subdued, then maybe move towards the greener side.
Yeah. True. And we also pick dongding because we drink a lot of dongding.
Know the tea really well.
Yeah. You got to, in a way, know the tea. Or sometimes even not knowing the tea, that's also fine because you can also use predictions to see if everything shows up or not. And I think this is one of the subjects that is harder to explain.
Yeah.
I can explain it when I meet you in person, I guess.
But we don't know a lot about like names of clays or identifying marks or even identifying shapes beyond the really basic ones. I mean, I don't think you do either.
No. And I'm actually really fine with that.
Yeah. It's not the focus for us. Although that's a very, very cool thing to know a lot about.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting subject and someday I would like to learn. And when I say I would like to learn, is I want to go there to touch the clay, to let the pot makers to explain things to me a little bit more in the detail, and I can know by touching the clay and watching the clay and watch how the results show up. And I think clay is one of the things, just like tea. It's a sometimes knowledge, I think, can stop us from knowing further because of actually the knowledge part. Why do I say this? I think sometimes I see people coming in just ask for they want to have Yixing clay, and some of them show how much they know about Yixing clay, and I'm a little bit mischievous sometimes. I will actually hand them looks like a Yixing clay teapot, and there's totally nothing to do with Yixing at all. Now whatsoever, there's no, maybe the technique, I guess. Not even, I don't think so.
But probably the technique is comes from Yixing, but
it looks like
clay.
a Yixing clay, and totally not from Yixing, the clay and the maker. And normally people, will think that's a very good Yixing clay teapot, And it's not that I want to prove people right or wrong. That's also not my intent, because I don't know either. My point is, will this teapot make good tea for you? For me, that's very important. And once again, of course, knowledge is very important. But if you can use your taste to combine with the knowledge, then I will say sometimes knowledge doesn't mean anything or doesn't mean much at all. Yeah. So now we're supposed to have a red clay teapot from the 90s. And I just brewed the first infusion of our Dongting traditional ale.
It's okay.
Yeah. Tastes, the broth already show up. Tastes pretty sweet for Dongting. I will say not fully
seasoned yet.
Oh, yeah. I was like, cure.
Not fully cured yet either.
Not fully cured yet.
But I think it could be a good, could be a good Dongting pot.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Let me do another infusion.
I've been curious about this pot because it has that gooseneck spout, but the body of the pot is more like a classic round shape, shui ping hu kind of shape, and then the spout comes out like with 3 turns in it. I was curious to see how it pours with tea inside. Because those spouts look great, and they're also notorious for not pouring very fast.
It was okay, right?
It was okay, yeah.
The 出水, the decanting was okay.
Yeah, pretty fast.
So normally when I determine if a pot works with certain tea is how does it impact the body, and how does it impact the flavor profile, and how does it impact the combination of these two, Of course, sometimes a clay teapot can mute a little bit of a tea flavor profile.
Yeah.
But this teapot doesn't seem to mute too much of it, and the body does show up.
Yeah.
And it tastes like a Dongting tea.
Yeah, a good next tea to try, I would think, is a more fragrant tea, and see if it mutes the more fragrant teas.
Yeah.
See how flexible the pot is.
Yeah.
Start playing with it that way.
Yeah.
Because sometimes a pot can be really flexible.
Yes.
Like one pot could brew all oolongs, or
yeah.
Sometimes it seems like some pots, they are very flexible with like the type of tea that they brew. Like they can go with more heavy teas, they can go with lighter teas, they can go with more fragrant teas, they can go with more thick teas. But the specific personality of the pot will sometimes not get along with the specific personality of a tea.
Yes.
And that's a different thing altogether. Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes it too.
He thinks it's really bullshit.
Or yeah, he's like
It's really funny. And I would say some teapots that are very finicky. They only like a certain tea.
Yeah. Which I think that's the beginning of how people get into the idea that a teapot can only brew like a very specific tea. Like some people will use a teapot, like have an alisan teapot and a lisan teapot, like that specific. For me, I feel like a good teapot is more flexible, but just some teas it just doesn't like.
Yeah.
And some teapots are like really kind and they can just take any tea at all.
So this one I would say a maybe, a strong maybe. I think something is hiding. So.
What do you mean by that? Like you think it maybe keep seasoning it and see where it goes?
I think there's the sweetness of the tea shows up, but the signature Dongting fruit taste didn't show up. And for me, that's a thing that I wouldn't like to give up when I drink a Dongting tea. Body wise, it's very it's there though, but almost makes it a little bit too smooth. I like Dongting with a little bit more personality.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling like I want to try a lighter tea in that pot next. And see what happens.
Yeah. So that's basically our process, So next we are going to use.
And there's still some clay smell in the.
Yeah, that's the thing.
the lid.
I think it's not 100% cured yet because I mean we soak it like three times.
3 times, yeah.
And the next one, we are going to use looks like a purple clay, actually 紫砂 for me. Not sure if it's 紫砂, but looks like
the
紫砂.
color is more purple,
Yeah.
darker. And it sounds like it's a higher fired pot than the last one.
Oh, maybe like 1 second. We'll show the sound through the recording. That's perfect. This is a podcast.
Yeah.
We can't show you the color though.
Color, you gotta use your imagination. It's like chocolate mixed with blueberries. Also, the shape is very different too on this pot.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people say the shape actually has a really big impact on the teas that work in the pot. And I guess I just haven't had enough like same clay, different shape comparisons
Yeah.
to really figure that out.
More roasty from this clay teapot.
I don't think it works super well with dongding.
Kind of make the body feel thinner.
Yeah, and it
Do you feel
accentuates
that?
some of the high notes that are not really want to be accentuated too much, like the roasty high notes. I find that when a pot that accentuates high notes for like lighter oolongs, when you do a roasted tea in there, it kind of brings out some of the fire notes more than you'd want them to be, and it doesn't have as strong of a base.
Yeah. But somehow the feeling, the energy more feel like like throw and up, and the first teapot more feels like it goes more throw and down. Yeah. So teapot does have a really interesting impact on even how the feeling of a tea is gonna move.
Yeah.
But let's just be a little bit fair and do actually second infusion will be a little bit more open on the leaves and see if second infusion shows any difference. And then we'll hear the sound and we'll talk about the sound. Also, from the second teapot, it doesn't leave us much memory.
Yeah.
So, which maybe you can translate it as a
Aftertaste?
form of aftertaste, physically and taste-wise as well. Both doesn't hold up a lot. So this second infusion of a Dongding traditional A from this supposedly looks like a purple clay Yixing teapot.
It doesn't work with dongding. It doesn't work with dongding very well.
Like,
But I have a good feeling about it with Haiman Oolong, actually.
yeah. And also here, by the way, we are not saying that. So first teapot was red clay, supposedly red clay. Second teapot was supposed to be purple clay, and we are not saying that then purple clay doesn't work with dongding. Okay, it really depends on how they fire the teapot.
Yeah, we have another purple clay pot back there that the one that Mr. Huang gave the boy.
Yeah.
And that teapot works great with dongding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so let's maybe hear a little bit of the sound, and maybe Noah, you can describe where I'm hitting the teapot.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So just hit it for a second,
That's the red clay teapot.
and then hit the second one, and then I'll talk about.
This is a purple clay teapot.
So the pitch is higher on the second pot.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's safer.
You're a musician, so whatever you say.
Listen one more time.
All right. Okay, number one. Are you sure?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The safe way to hit to hear the sound of a pot is by taking the lid off and turning it around so you're using the back of the lid, something that's less chippable, and then knock it against the handle very lightly.
So the place that you are holding the lid, use that place.
Yeah,
I'm not
the
sure
knob.
if it's like really safer.
I think it's much safer because it's safer than the usual way.
Yeah,
The
a lot of
usual
people
way-
just lift
Lift the lid and
the
drop
lid
it.
and then drop it this way. please do not do that in anybody's shop.
Yeah,
You
don't
will
do
get
it to
yelled
other people's
at.
pots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the inside of the lid is actually is thinner. Actually, that place that attached to the lid part is thinner. It's very easy to chip it.
And it's very easy to drop it if you're holding it from the knob.
Yeah.
And if you're planning on dropping it,
a lot of
it's
people actually
dangerous.
test the sound this way. I think we all have the habit. We see a part we want to know. We pick it up and we start doing this. And then
if it chips, you just have to buy the pot, and it's really awkward.
It's really awkward. And some of the pot does cost about $1,000 to $5,000. And when you chip a place, it's not funny. Yeah. Always ask the owner to see if they can do that for you. So when the owner chip it, then that's their problem, I guess.
Yeah. And you can always use the method I was just describing that would be a little safer.
对，比较高，有。Now I heard it. Fine.
And you can also listen for and I don't know what it means really, but I do like when I'm listening to a pot, the richness of the color of the sound, not just the bass pitch, because any pitch, especially a pitch like this, is not a pure pitch. It's a there's a lot of harmonics going on.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of higher and lower stuff that you can also hear, right? So you're listening for the bass one, and the bass one's lower on this one, but this one also
doesn't own as much as
this one is more resonant a little
right.
bit, right? Yeah.
Cool. All right. So fun. Let's try a third teapot as a wood fire teapot from Taiwan. I had wonderful, especially this particular potter. I actually had a wonderful experience with his teapots versus Dongding tea.
Yeah, so this is not an Yixing pot made with Taiwanese clay.
Maybe this way then. See
the sound of that one.
The sound of the third wood fire teapot.
Very different sound.
Yeah, almost like metal.
Yeah, I mean, I think all these potters are using a basic Yixing idea, at least, right? Because no one else. I think that's what the beginning of making teapots that were that small. Yeah.
Small teapots, huh? Oh, 出水. Very
it's
good.
Really good.
出水, very good. That's the danger of selling teapots in our shop. When it looks really good, it might be off the website.
Yeah, we tasted tea with a local customer, and she actually came in just to pick up some tea, and then she was looking at the pots, and she wanted to try out a tea in the pot. And once
she loved it, and we loved it too.
Once I took a taste of it, I thought, I should have tasted this before I let her taste it, so that I could put it aside and not sell it to anybody.
And that teapot at that time, the experimentation, she just wanted to see how it pours. But I thought, well, just to see how it pours is kind of boring. So I just kind of look at the pot, and it's serious intuition. I was like, hey, let's try Taiwan Dahong Pao inside.
Yeah, and it worked. It was the best I've tasted that tea.
It worked beautifully.
Yeah.
So we are kind of like, I kind of want the teapot now. And she's like, well, how about this? You guys have visitation rights to the teapot. So we are going to go to her house once a while and to use the teapot.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like that.
Even just on the smell.
Yeah. And you can tell something by the smell too. The smell will be different in different pots.
Yeah. Just a dry leaf with a warm teapot. Yeah. You can see how much the bouquet is showing, not just how much it's showing, how well it combined together as a tea, you know.
I forget who told me this. Someone told me that if you give me a tip, and it really worked for me. If you pick up the lid while you're brewing the tea and smell the lid, well, there's actually after you brew the tea, so right like that. Yeah, exactly. And then see how the fragrance comes off the lid.
Oh, yeah. The second one is not as nice.
Right.
Even it's not brewing, but it's some
wet
heat
there's tea on the lid, right? Once you brew tea in there.
Now I want to try another wood fire pot.
Maybe we should.
Yeah. Two different potters wood fire pot. Here you go.
Have we tried this one? We tried this one already.
Oh, we did.
Tried the fatter one.
How did it show up?
It was good. It was Dongding.
It was Dongting.
It worked well. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Memory nowadays. That's why I need to add different blood into a floating leaf tea.
Some memory. My memory is not good at all. Talking about Sunny.
Oh, she's organized.
Yeah, she's very organized.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Sunny, if you are listening, you are too organized for us.
An older gentleman came in and I don't know, probably 70.
Yeah.
And he was he bought some tea, put it in his pack, ready to go. He's like, "Where did I put my hat? I can't remember where I put my hat." And he's looking for it for me, and then he put it in his backpack. Wow, that's just like me. I think he did that this morning with my mask. Where did I put my mask? You just put it down over there. Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm even worse. I just lost it.
Oh, yeah, true. You did lose a mask on the way. I like this.
So what happened to the third part is the body is there, the Dongting fruit is there, the taste, the connection is there, and there's one more thing. The feeling of the tea is there too. And for those of you who have doubts of not doubts, what does that mean? Tea can bring out a feeling. Maybe the closest way that I can think of it is sometimes a tea bring up a memory, for example. Then there's a feeling. There's almost nothing to do with the actual, our analysis, whatever.
You can't analyze it out.
Analyzation.
You can't take it apart and find where it is. It's just there.
Or like how do you use that word? Anyway, we analyze the breath, we analyze the taste, we analyze.
Just like when you have a person and you take them apart into little pieces and you're like, where'd the person go?
Yeah, but a lot of times actually tea will give you a feeling. And
in this pot, it showed up.
And some feelings are very strong. For example, just like those incidents of you remember a memory, those are very strong feelings of a certain tea that they can give you. Sometimes a feeling is more, I would say, more abstract. It's just an overall feeling that it's just I feel good. And it's nothing to do with the cha qi. Those will be actual physical feeling of a tea that the tea energy is good. And sometimes a tea can then those memory is in a way is not actual memory. Like actually a lot of times when I drink charcoal roasted alisan tea, for example, I can see water content somehow. Like not just like water. It's not a pond of water. It's alisan mountain, and there's a light rain, and there's mist, and just like light moisture water in the whole mountain kind of a feeling, but is it part of my memory? I don't think so, actually, even though I was in a mountain a few times. And take another example, Wuliangshan, the Yunnan mountain, that one, I have never been up there. And I don't know how many times I can imagine that mountain when I drink a Wuliangshan tea, actually. So, but this one, what kind of feeling is it coming out? I can't describe it with this part and this Dongting, but it called out Dongting, that's all I could say.
Yeah. Could you call this Dongting Yun?
哦，我不知道哎。
Maybe.
老师的 the teacher said 韵 is more of a actual physical feeling and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but this is like almost like a feeling. I love my description. Do you guys love it?
in a way, the tea in this pot feels complete. And then in the purple clay pot, it felt not
almost there. Almost
No,
there.
no,
huh?
the purple- the
purple.
purple clay pot.
Sorry, I'm colorblind.
Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
Hold on. The purple clay pot, it didn't feel right. Yeah, did not. It was like it was floaty and not very grounded. I think it'd be good for a more fragrant tea. So it's not like every time we try a pot, we're like, oh, this was great. This one's good. This one works for dongting really well. It's not. But
sometimes you hit
sometimes
it.
you hit it.
When
And
you
then,
are lucky.
and then the red clay pot, the first one that we tried, it had the general idea. You know, it seemed to fit fairly well, but it wasn't. Maybe it needs more seasoning. Something's not quite totally complete about it. And then this wood-fired pot hits really well with this dongting tea.
Let's see the second infusion. Oh, the overall feeling and the connection. Yeah. And the way the tea presents itself is also more balanced. Maybe in the next 5 minutes, this teapot is gonna be sold out from our shop. Nobody buys it. We take it.
Well, we bought it.
Oh yeah,
right?
I bought it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like yelling now. So exciting. This teapot makes me feel excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Me too.
I talk louder and louder. Let's try the next clay teapot. Totally different approach. I think the body is thinner. This wood fire pot maker like to I guess test out his skills.
They're making really delicate pots.
Yeah, I know, because I heard that wood fire pots go in, comes out like 50% got lost or something like this. And with something that this thin body...
Have to imagine that it has a high potential for breakage, right?
Yeah.
In the kiln.
Oh, and our friend Tom already bought 2 of these teapots. We should ask him for visitation rights as well.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be amenable. He's a very chill fellow.
Those 2 are gorgeous. I don't want to sell those 2 either.
I know.
But he was so excited.
I know. Yeah, that's the thing is I was talking to the customer that bought the pot yesterday, and the one that we tried out with Taiwan Dong Pan, I really liked that. I was like, I actually sold her a pot a couple years ago that I also didn't want to sell. But sometimes when the person's there and they're just like they really want it and they really want to bring it home and brew tea with it, it's really hard to just be like the greedy pot man and be like, nope, you can't have it. I'm keeping it. I mean, this doesn't work. You just can't be like that. So, but I would really like to play with some of those pots a little bit more. She got actually a red clay pot, but Taiwanese red clay, made by the wood-fired pot maker, the one from the pot we just tried. And I brewed an aged oolong in that pot when I was trying it out, and I thought it tasted really good. So I always remember that. I really want to play with that pot some more.
Also, it's one of the clay and the technique of a pot that we don't have. So it's fun to have a different style of pots in our teapot library. Yeah. You got to have tea library and you got to have teapot library.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Nice sound.
Nice sound when the tea goes into the teapot and there's not enough tea anymore. Whoa.
I forget the name that I gave this one on the website. It has a name. It's kind of a squat, very round wood-fired pot.
Smell that.
I just called it round wood-fired pot. So there you go.
How direct. I love it. That'll be mine. Oh no, mine is even worse. I would just say wood-fired pot 1, wood-fired pot 2, Yixing teapot 1, Yixing teapot 2.
Sometimes I do that too.
But the thing is, we should keep a teapot from this potter.
Yeah, we sold our last one.
Yeah, to
a while
Ellen.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That was a sweet pot. The side handle pot.
I know.
Yeah, the charcoal.
I know.
Side handle. That was really cool. But I know Alan is enjoying it very much. So.
I know. Gotta share the love.
Yep.
No, I think it's one thing is with those people, it's hard not to sell them those pots, even though we really want them to. I think it's the eagerness and the happiness that already show up in their face.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I think the pots will have very good treatment at their home, you know, and brew many good pots of tea. So
Yeah.
yeah.
One day I'm gonna have so many pots that just so many pots.
That's good. Keep that goal.
Actually, everything shows up in this one too.
But way more taste than the other pot.
More flavor.
More flavor, yeah. But feeling wise, the other wood fire pot is stronger, way stronger. Yeah.
And this one feels a little bit. The other pot feels a little bit more contained. This one feels a little bit more wild to me.
Whoa. Decisions now. I say we take both.
Well, we do need at least
One of each, right?
yeah.
Because the Hulk teapot is actually not good with
Not good with any oolong actually.
Yeah.
It works with pu'er very well.
yeah.
And the Hulk is by the same guy as the copper pot the first wood fire pot that we tried. Woo. Trying to make
Fun,
money,
huh?
or are you trying to collect pots? That's the question.
Then you say you want to own so many pots.
I do very much so.
Here you go.
Yeah, take both of them. I think it's nice we take a pot and then eventually someone begs
I know.
for it and then we sell it again too. It's the way the world works.
Second infusion of this round wood fire teapot from the teapot. Still Dongding A. Wow, I already drank so much Dongding tea
Yeah,
today.
a lot of first and second infusions of
I
Dongding.
know, the
Strongest one.
strong tea.
Need like a steak dinner now.
You mean brunch?
Maybe a pork chop. Oh, like a pork chop.
Pork chop.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat chicken chop today.
Oh, chicken chop.
Is there such a thing?
Chicken chop. I was talking about like a big chunk of pork chop,
Steak, almost like
like a
pork
steak, and then grill it up on the charcoal grill with some salt and pepper on it. Maybe make some kind of like relish with green chilies and lime, kind of bright, and cilantro.
This is how it ends tea tasting. When you start to get hungry, your mind will be thinking food.
Yeah, totally. And some grilled asparagus.
Which I think is a great combo, just to think about what kind of food you can cook afterwards. But normally what happens is too hungry to cook.
Yeah, then you just end up eating something.
Some chips.
Yeah, that's why it's so good to have those like little pastry things, those Taiwanese pastries around.
I like the other one.
For Dongding.
Yeah.
I kind of want to try this one with aged oolong.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. The other one just, at least the feeling of Dongding shows up.
Yeah.
And this one just like, it make Dongding tea taste good.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I mean, physically, it's a very strong energy.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's
teapot.
wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a really strong physical energy. I think aged oolong, I think roasted oolong could work well. Aged oolong, I would like to try it. And pu'er, I'd like to try it as well.
Yeah. We do need a big aged oolong teapot.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we have one?
No.
No, we don't have one.
No.
A big pot for aged oolong.
Yeah, we have a medium-sized one.
Medium-sized one. You mean the...
The one I bought from Beijing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one works for aged oolong pretty
Yeah.
well.
Okay. Whoa, a very wild tea session today. I am totally high right now. I need some snack.
This pot, the energy hits really hard.
I need some snack. Cool. So before we go, any announcements?
Yeah, sorry we didn't do a podcast last week.
Yeah, seriously.
We totally forgot. Like
we
100%.
forgot.
It was Monday afternoon. I'm like,
Something
we did a
is-
podcast this week, didn't we?
And I was like, I think
Yeah,
so.
it was when we did the charcoal dongding something, and I said, wasn't that last week? Did we record anything yesterday? And they're like, oh yeah, yesterday we didn't record anything.
Yeah. It was,
So, yeah,
embarrassing.
We like 100% forgot. Like, yeah, we really, really, totally forgot about it. So, there's that, and then we do have. Let's just say it one more time. We have tastings online coming up.
in August.
August.
包种 tea blind taste, and then another
Jinxuan.
session to talk about Jinxuan. Store wise, we are going to do in-store private tea tastings. So if you are interested, just email us. The typical times will be 4 p.m. Because we're going to close the shop at 4 p.m. We don't want to mix the store business and the tea tasters. Our shop is like 280 square feet only.
And most of it is filled up with boxes.
Yeah. And so with people coming in, it just feels like it's really crowded. And tea tasters, you can wear a mask, and with people coming in, I still feel like it's a little bit, I think it's safer to separate these two forms of tea operation.
Yeah. So if you're coming from out of town to visit us, we love to see you. If you would like to drink tea with us, and we would love to drink tea with you for sure, please email us beforehand.
Yeah, tea@floatingleaf.com. And teapots are armed. Buy them before we take them. What else? Yeah. And then I think that's it. And in September, it's too early to talk about it. So anyway, so that's it.
That should be good.
Yeah. Happy tea drinking, people. And we hope we will not forget to record our podcast ever again. See you guys on Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.